How do you deal with toxic family members? Oh my goodness. I've dealt with it. And I've made the mistake of talking too much, taking advice, and it created chaos within my home and within my marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your family members out of your marriage. Do not talk to them about the problems that y'all are having, because we all know that they're not going to be as forgiving as you are, because once you've moved on and you've forgiven your husband or your wife, they still have those thoughts in the back of their head, and they still have this idea of what they think your husband is. You know your husband, you know your wife better than they do, because you live with them, you deal with them, and you know their heart better. Your family doesn't. So when you go to them to rant, to complain, it creates issues. And then there's seeds that's planted. Then they remind you of the times that your husband or wife sinned against you. See, you remember when that time happened, and da, 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 da. And then you've already went past that, but they're bringing it up, and it creates a bitterness within you. And then you're not, wait, did I truly forgive him? I don't know. I'm kind of mad about that. Then you're treating him differently because of something your family brought up about something that you've been forgave him about and forgot about. It is imperative that you do not talk. I wouldn't, honestly, me personally, I don't talk to anyone about my marriage. I talk to God. I take it to God. And if I really need to talk to somebody, I talk to my husband, not any outside people. That's just a something bad waiting to happen. Because when you let people in, one, you never know if they are actually for you. You don't know that. People can secretly hate you. People can secretly be envious of you. People can secretly want you to be without your spouse, because they will have more access to you. So it's extremely important to keep your family out of your marriage. But when it comes to toxic family members, like for example, I've had a time where um I'm gonna go there where my because I wasn't gonna say specifics, but my mother-in-law has said negative things about my husband, right? And this is his mom. So you don't want to argue with her. You don't want to rub her the wrong way. You don't want to have any issues. This is, you know, the grandmother of my children. And because let it had been somebody outside of the family, then I would be like, I would check that. But because she's my mother-in-law, you kind of like, I'm not gonna rub her the wrong way. A way to do that without being disrespectful to her is to combat whatever negativity she's saying about your husband with positivity, and they'll get the picture. For instance, like I said, she said something about the way that he sings, and was joking about he can't sing, da 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 da. I personally thought he had a beautiful voice. He used to serenade me with that voice. Like, I was just so confused when she said this. So I'm like, what? My husband has an amazing voice. I love his voice. And her face turned up. She was annoyed by it, but she can't just outright be mad at me for saying something positive. So after a while of hearing that I'm not going to entertain the negativity, that stopped. She stopped talking to me negatively about my husband. And that is a great way to kind of combat that without being disrespectful, without creating a big huge blowout, is to just say something negative and don't entertain. I mean, say something positive and don't entertain the negative. That's what's worked for me. But like I said, the number one thing is just don't entertain it. Don't talk to people about your marriage and don't get pulled in, because you know how women are. We once, especially once we get together, if we're all wives, we'll start to say stuff about our husbands in a jokingly manner. Oh yeah, he's so annoying, he left his dirty socks on the floor and right next to the basket, and in a jokingly way, and everybody thinks it's all light-hearted. But when you open that door, a lot of times people like to use that and try to get information and try to, and want to make you look bad, want to make your marriage look not so as perfect as people are just people. They want to have one up on you, and they can do that by acting like, oh, this is a camaraderie thing. We're just talking bad about our husbands together. But in reality, they want to know. They want something negative that they can say about your family because they don't like whatever it may be that you represent.